Hello and welcome to another tutorial in the Coollab Discovery series. Today we are going to dive into the software in order to create a drawing using a couple of nodes. We will achieve this together step by step. So we will progress as follows. First, we will have the presentation of the concept, then we'll do a step-by-step creation with Coollab, and finally we will export the artwork. So when you're ready, let's get started. Let's start with a brief presentation of the concept, and as you can see on these images, several artists use flowers or were inspired by them. We can notice symmetry and repeating patterns. Thus, we are going to create a flower-inspired artwork, and this with only 5 or 6 nodes inside Coollab. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so now that we are inside the software, we can start with the creation process. First and foremost, let's add a disk node. This disk here will be the base shape for our flower. We can keep the default parameters. We will apply several transformations on this disk in order to turn it into the flower we want. The next goal now is to add a repeating pattern. To do so, we can link a new node, which will be a grid node, to this disk. And as you can see in the view panel, we now have a grid made of disks. That's really nice. Okay, so the next step is to add a new node called mirror, repeating circle. Here, and as you can see, we now have these weird shapes appearing in the center of the view panel. So let's play with the period parameter here. It's a slider, so just one click on it, then keep pressing your left click and you can move your mouse to the left or to the right to modify the value. You can also input the value of your choice by double clicking here, and let's try minus 1.350. And as you can see here, we now have an interesting result, which looks like a firework star. It's nice progress. It's time to do a little bit of magic now. To do so, let's add a grid node called kaleidoscope. And here we go. As you can see, we now have a flower inside the view panel. Let's try to add more petals to it by increasing the number of splits here. It's too much here, so I guess I will stick with 6, which looks fine. Also, if by mistake you moved inside this view panel and lost the flower, it's not a problem. You can always reset the camera to the origin by clicking on this target button right here. And as you can see, the flower is back again. The idea now is to get rid of those surrounding shapes. To do so, we can zoom in a bit inside the view panel. But in order to zoom with respect to the center of the view, we can press the Alt key on the keyboard and then scrolling in. And as you can see, we now have a good frame. In the next steps, we would like to add colors to the flower. But before that, and in order for the flower to stand out a bit, let's add glow to it. So let's add the glow node. Here, you can directly see the difference. It's more shiny, but it's too much. So let's modify the value to something like 0.008. And we have the great result. It's color time now, so let's add a new node called color ramp. And let's modify this default yellow color. To do so, let's click on the marker, then on the square, and you will have access to this window. You can also double click on the marker to achieve the same results. As you can see, we can play with the transparency, and we have also these fields that we can modify. Let's use the wheel in our case to change the yellow to something orange. As you can see in the view panel, the color is changing as well. Also, if you like your parameters, it's good to know that you can save them as a preset. Just go over this bar called New Preset Name, and let's type the name of the preset we would like to have. BNO, why not? Because it's blue and orange. Then click on Save Preset. And now I have access to it in this drop-down menu. Let's go back to Default to show you, and select again our preset. It works, and I can use it for later. Let's try out this Candy Default one. Great and amazing. When you are happy with the result from the view panel, it's time to export the artwork as an image. So you can go in the top left corner, then click on Export, then Image, and you should have this window appearing in front of you. Here you can change the resolution as well as the aspect ratio of the image. You can also choose the path where you want your artwork to be saved to. In our case, let's rename the file to flower, and we can click on Export. And what you are currently seeing now are some examples we've made using the same restriction on the number of nodes. So around 5 or 6 nodes for each artwork. It is now your turn to experiment and create your first artwork. Try to keep it simple at first using no more than a couple of nodes. Also, feel free to modify the example we've done together. Play with different parameters and or try to add new nodes to the existing graph. If you appreciated the tutorial, consider leaving a like. Do not hesitate to post any comments under the video if you are facing issues. And more importantly, feel free to subscribe if you don't want to miss out the next tutorials. That being said, see you next time.